Yo, mic check 212. This is how we do. Welcome back to the weekly production stream. Also, welcome to some of our new members who are checking things out. Really appreciate the love and support on Patreon. It's been a little bit of time since I've moved, a lot of things from YouTube to here. A little bit of time being, I guess, just over close to a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I think that just makes sense with the theme of owning and controlling your own content. So I appreciate the love and support for that. So anyway, as far as today's focus in the episode, before I jump into that, and the focus today, by the way, will be a beat sketch because for the vinyl EP I'm doing with Phil Weeks, I thought I had some tracks laid aside, which I do, but I actually want to release those elsewhere. So we're going to be making a beat specifically for this vinyl release and also doing the remix contest, as I mentioned before. So you can be a part of that if you are interested. More details to follow on that. But otherwise, the other thing I wanted to share, and I'll do a separate post for this, is the weekly demo listening sessions. We're going to be bringing that here. So not only is there going to be a weekly production stream, as you're watching right now on episode 205, but I'm also going to be doing live listen to demos. And I'm going to be sharing those a bit more broadly on my socials, just more of the clips from those sessions, because people ask me for feedback all the time. And I'm thinking, well, why not bring it to this platform and share the knowledge with people in terms of, feedback on demos, things people could work on, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, that being said, let's just dive into things, but be on the lookout for that. And lastly, season 8 sample pack coming June 20th. So I'm steadily working through that. Thanks for your feedback on that one. But I'm super stoked to get to this beat because I sampled this stuff back in 2017 and I totally forgot about the sample itself. So I'm going to have to do some interesting things, like with respects to how I'm leveraging Serato sample for this particular sample. I got to make a main loop, stem out the bass line as well, and just make sure none of the drums behind the sample are there, because I find my records sound much better without all of that information in there. It's just distracting from the low end. But time and a place for everything. So we'll see how things go. So let me just give you a show of my screen here. So you can see I've duplicated a number of instances of Serato sample here. It should show up on console 1. It's steadily filling those in. Wow. That's interesting that they've done that. Before, they used to just fill this all in automatically, and now they're only doing it once you engage the product, which makes sense, I guess, for a better distribution of memory and efficiency and CPU usage. So you'll see I got multiple instances of Serato sample here. So as usual, I'm going to start at the top here. I'm going to call this main loop. I think what I'll do down here, I'm going to call this the intro sample, or change up. Just go show you when I sampled this, I was like, yo, I'm going to work on it. And something must have distracted me, man. So I'm so stoked to get back to this one. So that's main loop. I'm going to call this filtered baseline. And I should be able to knock off the filtered baseline in this just listening to the sample itself. Actually, we should probably go find it in a hot second here. Samples. Where's my house folder? Oh shit! I gotta search for it now. So interestingly, I'm going to drop two transients on this because this part of the sample here, let me just zoom in, sounds like really where the loop should begin. You'll see what I mean. As opposed to it starting like this. Like that, this is like the third beat in terms of how I'm hearing the phrasing of the sample. So we need to do it starting here. This is the one. As opposed to, I mean, either one could work, but I go with feeling, and just the way the bass line's being played and the phrasing of it, it sounds, at least to my ears, that it should be starting on this one right here. So anyways, we're straight there. I think what I'll do, because I dropped the transient there, where's the filtered bass line? There we go. I'm actually gonna get rid of the main loop. So I did that here. So now I'm just gonna copy this one, the filtered bass line, over. So it's the same loop we're working with, but I've done this just so the transient markers that I've set up are the exact same. So when it comes to actually programming the loops, it's, you know, I'm just working with the MIDI clip. It's triggering the same thing. So you'll see what I mean in a second here. But let's get our loop down, man. Get my screen up. Why would it do that? I just copied. That's hella annoying. It's right there. Okay, let's try this again. No plugin. Filtered baseline. Let's make sure that's what I'm copying. I must have copied over. There we go. Main loop. All right. Let me just make sure this is here. Okay, that's our change up. Okay, so we're good. It's just the intro and change up. Make sure that's straight. Okay, that's straight. All right, so we are good to go. Let's get the main loop down. It's our filtered bass line. All right, so like I said, it needs to start here. Let me just make sure it's right on the transient. Okay, it's perfect. So let's record that. Perfect. Sounds a little rushed. So let's go into the MIDI clip. Yeah, and it only sounds a bit rushed because I was a little off the grid. Let's gain stage that baby. This is the sweet spot we're going for right here. -6 dB. Perfect. Rarely do this, but I'm just gonna quantize that second part of the loop right on the one, just to see how it sounds. Yeah, I don't like that. It's the way the kick is being played. I like that. That just sounds better to my ears. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the reason why it doesn't really matter is because I'm going to take the drums out. So let's listen to it here. Let that memory refresh. Here we go. I just hate how much the sample degrades. I'm gonna take the bass out. I don't know, man. I think they need to work when it comes to stemming. They need to work on a quality of how that sounds. Like when you stem things out, but that's what EQing is for, right? Okay, so now that I've done that, let's work on the filtered bass line. Actually, let me see how it sounds. Because there is a voice in there. It's pretty obvious to me. I was wondering if it would go away if I took it out. So it's right in this keyboard layer. Can't hear anything because it's out. Let's see. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I'll leave that as is. Okay. So let's go over to creating our filtered bass line. So this would be, again, it's literally the same sample. So if we bring it up here, it's being triggered the same. All we're gonna do is just keep the bass part. So we're removing the drums, we're just keeping the bass part. And you can see it's very faint here. So we're gonna have to do some EQing. So the first thing is to gain stage that. Why is that doing that? Okay, that's there. As per usual, I'm going to use my smooth out electric bass preset. It's from Logic here. This curve always seems to work. Hear how much more rich that is. Let me A-B it. So this is without the EQ and with it. And it's bass. Like, yeah, I can hear a little bit of artifacts in there, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about that at this stage. You can mix it down, make it sound pretty. The whole key thing here is to get the sketch down, and I'm working kind of with a tight timeline because I want to finish the song and then have people have the opportunity to remix either track. So should be cool. All right, let's get back to things here. See me? Yeah, you can see me. Okay, I like that. Let's go check our EQ on this. I'm just gonna remove anything else. There's some harmonic stuff here for the bass, but that stuff we don't need. We need most of the stuff in here. And then after that is where the magic comes in. This compressor for these type of bass situations are, I can't tell you how much I enjoy this plugin. Ever since Arturo Garces told me about it, I strictly use this pretty much on all low-end basses. And it's this preset. I'll massage it a bit based on how this sounds. So let's listen. Hear the girth in that at the bottom? That's what you want. Like, listen to it when it's off. It blows my mind how different this is when this plugin is not on. So let's engage it again. Isn't that astounding? That shit is so crazy. So in terms of tweaks, this is the one, the soft to tight preset here. I like the bottom here. It's nice and round, which is reflected in the symbol there. You might see the overload light go on sometimes, but it's fine. It's digital. So I just leave it as is. Sometimes I'll even push it a bit. Like with the filtered bass, when I get ready to mix it down, like this is the channel for it here. So you can see I'm zoomed in. Actually, you'll probably see it better this way. So everything's at -6 dB, but for filtered basses, like final mix down, I'll probably get down to, -9 dB, sometimes -10 dB. Because it's a low frequency, you don't need it to be crazy high. And the reason for that is because bass frequencies go everywhere. So the perception to the ear is that it's loud. So you don't want to push this thing too hard. Like, 2 to 4 dB below your target headroom is where you want to be. And keep in mind, by the time I send it to my mix buses, once it's all arranged and stuff, I'm probably going to shave out anywhere between 20 and 40 hertz on the bass, because it's just removing dirt. And I'm giving back the energy to the frequency. So anyways, that's our filtered bass. It's all in there. Love it. Let's get a filter going on the main loop. A lot of you know about this secret. I call it the secret because this thing just makes your sample sound so dope. It sounds exactly like the Akai 950 from back in the day, which is what this is modeled after. Where's the... Doesn't sound like much is going on with the main loop. I wanted it to sound a bit more filtered down. Just gonna open it. There we go. Let's bring it here. There we go. I think we can do a little bit of EQ on this main loop right now. We don't need, these 200 and, my bad, these 274 hertz. We don't need that. I just cut it out. Headroom gave us a little bit more, so I can turn it up. These look a bit spiky to me in terms of resonance. There's like a clavinet and Rhodes playing in there. It's a bit dirty, so let's smooth it out with a chorus. Because the reason why I love choruses on main loops and melodies and stuff, because it's a modular effect, and there's a little bit of phasing going on in there, but it actually makes it sound a bit fatter, and it removes those very distorted frequencies like I'm hearing here from the clavinet and the Rhodes. So let's A/B it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna open up the sample. Let's turn on a chorus right here. Sometimes I turn these two on. Still doesn't sound. That's a bit too much. That sounds a bit better. Let's shut this off. Okay, so it's okay, but I think we need to do what is called serial EQing. And serial EQing is just a function of, two equalizing processes on top of each other. So we got the one EQ here from Softtube already going, but now post the 950 and the chorus effect, I feel like we need to do a little bit more to deal with some of the harsh frequencies I'm hearing in the main loop. It's mainly a result of stemming, like breaking out the loop, pretty much, right? Like, um, it degrades. As I said this many times, but as you engage stemming, it degrades the sample. I mean, RipX is substantially better, but in terms of workflow, it's not as engaging as Serato. So I hope Serato updates their algorithm with respects to how they stem samples out. Anyway, let's grab Fab Filter here, and I'll show you these frequencies I'm talking about. So I got the Pro Q4 in there. So here we go. This is the stuff I'm talking about here. I'm gonna mute the filter baseline. So this is all post the chorus effect. So let's get rid of all that. It's incredible. You still got to do that, even though I addressed it at the top with Softtube in terms of the low cut here. It's because this naturally has distortion in it, and we've also added another analog effect that introduces other harmonics to the signal. So you have to EQ those out. So let's find the harsh. I mean, the harsh stuff is kind of here. This is resonance right here. And make it dynamic. Pull it back a bit. I think the harsh one is here. Just gonna narrow the Q on that. Like two places. So there's this, and then there's here. This is harsh. I'm gonna narrow the Q. Hear that? There. That. So that needs to go. Might even notch that. This is me just being a bit anal. And notching is when the Q is so narrow that it's affecting pretty much one band. So the bell curve EQ we're using here, which means the signal is being affected in the middle of the bell and on the outer parts of it, whereas a notch is very narrow and focused on the middle part of the signal. I think this works just because I do want to keep some of this natural sounding here, but I'm going to switch it to notch just to see what it does. So we go over here, shape, notch. It's not bad. I'm going to do it here too. This one needs to go. Like these spiky things. Change the shape, notch. So this is better for me. You can A-B it. it's just the resonance there. When this isn't engaged, killer on the airs. And then when we filter it, we get a very smooth response, which is what I want. And then the filter bass line. Yeah. Could already hear the beats and everything else on top of that. All right. So the beauty of going through that EQ on that main loop after stemming things out that way is I know I have the EQ curve that I will need to apply to the intro and change up sample as well. It'll just be a straight drag and copy right across. And I won't have to figure out, what's going on there. So it should be the same. But let's listen to it because I plan to start the jam. And actually, before I do that, let me save this. What do we call this? I'm going to call it the spark because that's how I'm feeling. Almost 8 years after I sampled this, like I still have a spark with this track. So it's dope. All right. So we'll call it the spark. Here's the change up sample. Sorry, the intro. All right, so it's starting nicely on the transient. Okay, nothing to be concerned about there. Let's move these over. And record this. Fucking latency, man. Look at that. Like such a gap. It doesn't matter. We'll just sequence it. Sorry, quantize it. To the 1, extend the length of it. So that should work. Oh, I didn't let it go long enough because it's not a 1-bar loop, it's a 2-bar loop. That's easy to fix. Go here, extend this. I might leave the sample open like this, like, yeah, it sounds better. Yeah, I'll just take out the low. Shit, no, I don't like this view. I just passed it. There we go. Just take this out. A bit of resonance in there. It's the same shit, but it's not as like those dirty portions that I dealt with on the main loop with the Pro Q4 EQ are not present here because it's not stemmed out. I've left all of these parts of the sample in there. And I think it's good for just change up and breakdown stuff and intro stuff. So I'm just going to leave it. And it'll also get sidechained with a kick, so you won't hear it. It won't disrupt the lower frequencies based on, the stems being in there, how we EQ'd it, and the sidechain we're going to put on, and also what events in the arrangement we're going to do. Like I'm already anticipating and visualizing how that's going to be used. Let's go to our change up sample here for a quick hot second. Yeah, I like that. So I like how that is being triggered. So again, it's MIDI. I'm just going to copy this clip over here. It should be the same clip. No, let's see. Yeah, it is. So we just get rid of this because that doesn't exist. And is it going to be 2 bars? Let's see. Yeah. But on this one, it'll likely need to follow. Yeah, it will need to follow the same processing chain. So I'm just copying the plugins over just so it's the same experience. So it sounds like, the same sample. The only thing we need or same sample instance. The only thing we need to make sure of is, right here is the low cut 274. Doesn't have to be precise right now. Actually, there we go. Duh. I take my hand off it, it goes to 300. All right. 269. That's close enough. Used to be able to hold shift and increment that. Still getting used to this console version. And I think we took that down 1.2. So 1.2 on the mids. So it should sound. This is the same. It's just filtered down right here. So you can see on the change up, it's the same thing. So you see what I mean? This is how we're gonna do it. Basically, this is the main loop. I'll let this run for, I don't know, call it 7. I guess technically it's 6 bars, right? Because I just want the last 2 bars to have the change up loop in here. So let's listen to this all together. Ignore the filtered bass line. Oh, we need to open the sample. And then the change up right here. And actually, we need to get rid of the drums, the bass. So, got to make sure everything sounds like it's the one instance, even though it's the 2 separate parts of the sample right here. A little lower. I think that's gain staging. Yeah. We give it 5 dB here. Should sound about the same. There we go. And actually, I might need to do a separate filtered bass instance for the change up because it's a different part of the sample and the bass line might be played different, but I'm just going to use the existing filter bass line and see how it sounds. Oh, it's fine. Although the bass lines may be being played quite differently, but I'm just worried about the sketch at this point. So let's move all that there. I'm going to color this change up differently just so I know what it is. I got too much stuff open here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Save. So I think we're now ready to add some beats to this thing, just to, get the true essence of a sketch down. Okay, let's move these things back over. We'll keep the intro change up muted for now. We just want to rock with these and see how they sound against my assortment of beats. And then, I think I will program some drums in here. We'll see how it goes. Admittedly, I've been using more audio lately and doing some snare programming to finish things off. It's just a mood, I guess, just a vibe. Nothing in particular motivating the change in workflow. All right. Demuir beats and sounds. Oh, let's check the key of this thing. Kind of important. B flat minor. Okay. So we're B flat minor. That's the first thing we should be setting. B flat. I don't know. It does B flat and A minor. I don't know why it does that. Interesting. But let's see what we get here. Beats. All right. So we're gonna roll this and just scroll through beats. Kind of like that. Looping kind of weird though. Come back to that. I like the movement in this one. I'm gonna chop it in half. Nope. Just want to find something I haven't used before. Oh, I like this. I just like, yeah, I like this. It's funny, like, it's all about feeling for me. I already know, just by listening to that, I'm not going to use the kick from this. I'm going to get my own kick, but let's just loop it. See what flex we get out of Logic naturally on the swing. Gain stage right here, minus 6 dB. Let's take this out. Play with the transients. Oh wow, the punch is way down. Yeah, I like that. Right, let's keep searching for beats to overlay. Ooh, I like that too. I like how it's fattened it up a little bit. Yeah, that's dope. Even that little chop. That's dope, I like it. Just adjusted the sustain on the second beat break. Let's listen to it. Oh, I took the sustain down a bit more. I like this. Cut out more of the low. Now I solely like this beat loop that I heard. I actually use the same thing on High Live and Dirty. But I just like how the claps are hitting in this one. I'll solo it out. So again, we don't need the kick. I like that. This shit in the middle here is what I want. I'm actually gonna take down the lows actually. And it's gonna feel like an open hat layer at this point. Because we got 3 beat breaks in there now. I don't want it to sound too heavy on the highs. And I also want to make room for my own open hi-hat that I'll add in a bit. So because I'm so focused on the claps in this, let me take this off. I also don't like that doubling kick in one of these beat breaks. Yeah, it's in that one. So we'll address that in a bit. I want to get the clap vibe out of this right here. And the best way to do that is to do some dynamic EQing. Every time that frequency hits, I want it to be boosted a little bit. So make it dynamic here. Let's shave out the low end. Didn't want to do that. Here, I want to adjust the Q, broaden it a bit. All right, let's address this doubling up of the kick in this. It's in here, so we need to just cut it more. That's a bit better. I'm gonna take the transient down. I love transient shaping because what we're getting is we're effectively shrinking the dynamic of that transient. So it sounds tighter, but at the same time, I'm lowering the presence of what's coming off of this beat break here with the double kick. You can still hear it a little bit, but not like it was before. If we move the sustain back, take it down. And as well as this, so obviously the low cut, right? That's better there. Cut it a bit more. And do a little dynamic EQ here too. To get that high sort of point of the snap to push out. I think it's here actually. Let's see. Yeah, it's more there. So let's reduce the Q, make dynamic, and just bump it up. Just grab this right here. Red one here. There we go. Dynamic EQing on that one, it's perfect. Let's listen to all that. I think on this one, I want to get rid of some of the highs too. It has presence, but actually, it's probably in here. Yeah. Just want to lower it a bit because I'm adding my own open hat. I don't want too many high frequency signals going on. All right, let's get into some drum programming. Let's load up. Feels like a while, but open up Machine here. Switch this over. And I love the swing in those beat breaks. They're already a little bit loose, which is great. I just like that vibe. It just sounds more natural. But if you are new to this program, you'll know that I like to start out with a close hat swing. Make sure the latency is low. If you're using Machine like I am, just flush the MIDI. When you're engaging low latency, it's just tighter. All right, so let's record this. I want to make sure I'm 1/8 on the roll. It sounds like that. I'm gonna record that. Even if the velocity changes in this close hat, that's what I want. See all that variation makes it sound natural. And I'm gonna swing the hell out of it. This one sounds crazy. Yeah, that's too loud. Let's bring that down. And yeah, let's swing the hell out of this. I swing it like 30-40% just on this one instrument. I want a more natural sounding close hat at this point. Something just super tight. Hi-hat closed. Let's boost. Let's maximize the sound on this. Take this filter down for a second. Oh man, we need a... Oh, I like that. That close hat some more. Oh man. So good thing I checked. It's swinging the whole thing. Oh, I just want to swing the close hat, which is here. You can't see it. It's on my screen on the controller. You should be able to hear the difference though. There we go. Swinging that 45% roughly. I like how that sounds so far. Let me just tune it. Let me check for more sounds. Looking for something that's natural drum sound. Try analog. the fun part of production. Make sure I can hear this damn thing. So it's on pad 4. There's our close hat. Shave out all that. Let's listen to this. Kinda like that. Let's go back to the analog. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. All right. I like the sound of that, but it's got a bit too much presence. So I'm gonna actually trim this close hat sample. So I'm in the sampling part of machine right now. So let's just pull it back. As opposed to that, right? Yeah, I like it here. Yeah, like it there, that's good. Right, while I'm here, I might as well add my own open hat. Let's paint those in. Open hats, I tend to keep consistent from a velocity perspective. Again, I want to keep this natural sounding. I like the acoustic open hat sounds in machine. Let's make sure we maximize the sound. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's dope. Need to trim it a bit. Ooh, I like that. Let's tune it. Get it in key with the song. Oh, I like that. It's definitely too loud. So let's pull this back. Gain stage it. A lot of this information we don't need. Low cut. Much better. This is my typical. I used to rock the snare a lot. Sorry, if that sounds different, it's because I've flushed the MIDI just to make sure there's limited latency. So let's check this. You can see what I'm doing here. Good time to bring the action cam over. I love the action cam. All right, here we are. So I think this is one one of the first times I can actually show you how I program drums using ghost notes. So this, I like to call this my ghost hand here. So when I program, I'm like, it's bouncing, right? Like, because that's how drummers really do shit, you know? And I do play a little bit of drums, not as much as I used to, but it's just more natural feeling. You could probably hear me tapping here. This is my ghost thing. It's not touching any pad. You know, a lot of people program by, you know, pasting in, you know, like actually painting the things. I mean, I did it with the open hat, but the open hat's pretty straightforward. But when it comes to intelligent drum work, like intelligent snare work, you need to be rocking that ghost stuff. I learned this from Bernard Purdy, who's an amazing jazz drummer. Right? So let's. So you could actually have your hand here, right? I try not to tap the microphone too much, but I want you to see that. And I like that. That feels funky to me. So I'm gonna start recording. Let's go. Actually, I don't like that. So I'm gonna delete all of that. Not gonna record yet. Let's show you my screen again. Right? So I hope you see what I mean. This left hand, man, that sort of ghost drumming is vitally important in terms of finding the notes in between the beats. Let me maximize the sound. I haven't used the snare sound in a while. I used to kill the snare, man. But I might switch it out for another sound. The important thing is the pattern. I got the pattern down. So I generally snap the 2 and 4s to the grid. Sometimes I'll leave them slightly off. This one is slightly off, but we'll see how it sounds. But let's snap that to the grid. Quantize there. Quantize here. These other ones I just leave alone because they're more natural sounding. Let's I'm gonna quantize that. This one too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch out that snare sound for something else I got in the stable. So here are my here's some choice snares I have. I'm not sure if I even gave this. Let's listen. So I like how this is sounding. We need to tune it. I like that. I like how this snare sounds. Now that we got it tuned, there's some other shit we need to do to it. So let me just take out the latency. Take down the open hat a bit. I'm going to take the snare out of the drum bus. Sounds so much. Just like you don't need to send everything to the drum bus all the time. It really just base it all on sound. I'm going to add some harmonics to the snare by adding distortion. This is just a simple logic piece. I go 12-bit to mimic the old machines and it works. Ooh, that's crispy. God damn. I know y'all want that Larry snare. It's the Larry snare. I haven't used that. Ooh, that snare is crispy. Oh my God. All right, the next thing is to throw the Pultec on that snare. Rock it. So oh man, the snare sounds so nice. All right. I like how it sounds. We do need to go to, let's go back into machine and tighten the snare a bit. At a sampling level, I think there's something we can do there. Yeah. So you can see there's stereo information in the snare. I know I got this off a record. Like I could just tell just by how it sounds. And you can see in the stereo information, certain information is more of it's going to the left versus the right channel. It's pretty cool. And that's why I say, like, you won't get this type of stuff off of digital. Like, it just doesn't sound the same. But man, that's crispy. I like that. That sounds dope. And I think the other right thing to do at this point, I'm gonna just ease off of the boost on the treble in that snare, because it already has. Hear that? It already has what I think is a close hat at the top of it. So trimming the high end boost at 5,000, at 5 kilohertz there makes sense, because we already got enough high frequencies. I'm very cognizant of that. So the next thing to do here, I'm going to throw this through my snare bus. And the snare bus is an important tool as well. I gotta update my template, man, to make sure I shave out, that I had the Pro Q4 in it to shave out low frequencies on the snare bus. But here's the snare bus, right? So watch this, listen. So we sent some nice rich signal to the snare bus. This is with it off. snare bus back on. I like it, man. That's extreme. Just adds a bit more punch to it. So let's look at the frequency signal. We're gonna shave out 100 hertz on the snare bus. I'm gonna go for a slope of 24. Actually, no. Let's go to 12. Yeah. Proper. And on the actual snare itself, serial EQ again. Shave out 100 hertz. We just don't need this stuff here. It makes a huge difference when we make wave for the kick, which we haven't even added yet, but I hope you can hear and understand, just how impactful this stuff is. And I think to enhance the drum programming here, I'm going to add a clap just behind the 2 and 4. Normally I have this layered, like I'll have like 2 going, like a main clap and a clap in the background, but because I like the clap and the beat break we've sampled, I'm just gonna have it here. And this is what I mean by behind the 2 and 4. It's literally one note at 64 tuplets behind the 1 and 4. Sorry, the 2 and 4. So we're just gonna do that in each bar and listen. So right now it has that clap. I don't like that clap. There's another set of claps in here that I love. From machine here. So I'm going to boost, maximize the sound. Yeah, very subtle, but that's what I like. You can hear it. It's chilling in the background there. That's how I know it's doing some shit. Just tune that clap. We need a gain stage to snare. Jeez, it's all over the place there. Pull that back down to 6 dB. All right. Let's gain stage the clap. Should be on pad 10. I don't know why I put it here. There we go. I'm gonna add a bit of transient punch to the clap. Ooh, doesn't that sound lovely? Yes. Shave out all the stuff we don't need. Just a little boost on the high end. So you can hear it. That's essentially enhanced the clap in the beat break. I'll show you what I mean. I'll isolate it. Let's isolate that clap just so you see what I'm saying. So here's let's isolate the drums. And here's the clap piece I've just added right here. Almost sounds like a bunch of snaps, right? And I'm gonna leave that dirty. It's going right to the drum bus, which is fine. Sounds great. We'll eventually send everything to the tops bus for the final mix down. But that's what works, man. Can you imagine it without it? Much more presence there. open hat is still too loud. Let's check the gain stage on that. It's good. It's not bad. It's just loud. Pull it down a bit more. All right. So the thing here to check. I think at this point we're good to grab our kick. And I'm pretty much down to leveraging one or two kicks that I just really love, and I know they work very well. So let's find it. I mean, you can get the same kick too. It's on Loop Cloud. I think the whole thing, the kicks are just making sure shit is in key, man. So it astounds me how many people just don't understand that. Or they just don't pay attention to that. It's weird. It's looping weird for whatever reason. Don't know why it's looping like that. What's it looping like that? Oh, that's why. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's bring our kick in. That is sounding lovely. All right, so the kick processing is very similar to how we handle the snare stuff, but I think it's more important on the kick than the snare necessarily. I think kicks need to maximize additional harmonics for sure. So you do that right off the top, add some distortion, but just don't go crazy with it. Just make sure it's in 12-bit. Mimic, those old machines. Like there's that SP1200 plug. It was atrocious. I forget who makes it, but it was atrocious. Not the one that actually shows the full, like it shows the pads and the buttons and stuff. I forget who makes that. I do have that. I just haven't used it as much. But there's this other one. It was like this like two fader thing, and it sucked when I tested it out. I just didn't like it. Okay, so we got our kick in there with the distortion. Next thing is I'm gonna make sure it's gain staged. Let's bring that down, because once you put the pull tech on it, it runs hot. So let's That's the one thing about the sample. I think one of the kicks. Yeah, I don't know. Like one of the kicks just sound a little weird to me when it's looping. Like the first two sound like it's got the right amount of attack. So just could be my imagination. My ears playing with me. So I've just cut it in half there, and I'm just gonna loop the first two because they just sound good to me. And with at these beat breaks, I think we can enhance them a bit with, the articulate stuff I've been using. Also, don't be afraid to throw it in stereo. Certain beat breaks have stereo information in it. The only thing that's important, super important for mono situations, are the kick and snare. I've been growing more and more open to having more stereo information in the mixes. Club systems are starting to pick them up more, I've noticed. And it sounds great, so your record should be mixed that way accordingly. All right, let's find Articulate here. Get my preset on here. Sounds a bit more hype with this. Okay, we don't need it there. I think we got enough enhancement on our on that oboe. Yeah, I like this. Makes it a bit hyper. Yeah, so that's Articulate. That thing just drives it up. That was my preset. That should be in that plugin if you don't got it already. It's called Demuir's theme, and you can tweak it just similar to what I've done. All right, now, if you've ever done one-on-one sessions with me or received feedback from me on tracks, I have to say this: put a shaker in there or something to create movement in the beat. I don't know why I did that. Shaker. Loop. I'm going to see what I got first before I venture out. I got points to spend here. Thank you, Loop Cloud. All right, I don't think that's the right loop. Oh, that might work. You may notice I'm gravitating towards the ones that have more transients in it, because I know those have a lot of movement in there, as opposed to this. This looks like it's just hitting, a clap or the open hat pattern. That sounds all right. Dude, what's wrong with you, man? Find it. Let's mute the snare. I always like to hear what it sounds broken down. That's how you know it belongs. Something like this I like. But let's see if there's something new on the store I don't have. I like this. So I'm gonna take this shaker. Let's bring it in. Definitely gonna sidechain the shaker against the kick. Why don't we just do that now? Give it some bounce. Track spacer. That's what I want to see. Okay. Might as well get track spacer on everything else while we're here. Main loop. So we just want it for the kick, the low frequency. Especially the filtered bass. And I think the beat breaks, yeah, all three of them really should be sidechain against the kick. We'll start out with the filtered bass line, sort of reference, but it might need to be yeah, I like that. Yeah. Open hat. Yeah. Let's get our snare in. Yeah. See how dead it sounds with the closed hat out? And let's take that clap out here. Very subtle but effective. All right, I think, how are we doing for time here? There's a lot of gems in this one. About an hour and a half in. Um, I think I'm gonna pause here. There's a vocal. It needs a vocal of some sort, for sure. But I want to spend some quality time, finding something that works for this because it is, after all, a vinyl release, and I want to make sure I do that right. So yeah, it'll probably start like this. Then we'll come into this. Let's see how it sounds right out to the change up. Dope, 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 dope. Woo! Snare. Anyway. Damn. Hand sanitizer. Don't believe it's hand sanitizer. Going all over the place. Anyway. Um so that's it. I think we'll pause there. So be on the look for those things that I mentioned in the intro. I think if there's anything I'd encourage you to really watch and rewatch again is that Ghost Note drum programming. That's one of the things a lot of people don't do. They're so keen on painting things on the grid, and that's why their tracks sound sterile and soulless. One of the key reasons why. So I'll leave you with that. Much love and respect. Thanks for joining me. Peace.